Now that I got it all cleaned up, I'm going to take some time and revamp a couple of things on here. One of which is I have some CC hand metal sliders that I'm going to mount. I'm going to replace that broken rear bumper. That was disappointing when that broke. But you know, it's yellowed out plastic. This is 40 years old again. It's 40. So I'm going to replace that with the metal. And that's supposed to be looking just like it. So we'll see how it actually looks when we get it on. And then I also have the front one here, which means I'm going to lose my antenna wires that I put on so long ago. Not that they do any good anymore anyway, because we don't need to have long antenna wires. But anyways, yeah, there's the metal one. So let's do that next. Take the body off. Put it over here on the tires, I think. Be a good deal. Oh, also I got a this is from the RC Plate Shop, Bruiser plates, which I don't know if I'm going to replace the Don's toy with the Bruiser, or if I'm going to just put the Bruiser plates like in the window, maybe something like that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments downstairs. Alright, we'll put the body over here. And also I need to replace the battery plug. This has got the old T style, and I want the XT60 because that's what all my batteries are. So we're going to solder that bad boy on. Should we, let's start with the, I don't know. Let's turn the soldering iron on. Also, I'm going to replace this big, huge zip tie, reusable zip tie, with an actual battery strap. Yeah, but it's cleaned up if you want to get a close look at it. Hopefully the camera is in focus there. That is the Bruiser from 1985. I bought it at a hobby shop in Shoreline, Washington. I can't recall the name, but it was a kit. You had to put it together. You had to build a transmission. Well, actually, the transmission I think was already assembled and sealed. It did have little stoppers here for adding oil. Mine rotted and fell out over the years. It's been modified a little bit. Didn't come with this. This is just a bicycle tube cut and glued on to kind of protect from water splashing because I drove it in water. Leaf springs. This is a factory spring. This is a factory spring. These back here are not factory springs, or shocks, I mean. And then this truss here also is something I added onto it to keep that rear axle a little bit more stable. And this, I don't recall what this skid plate came from. It's not a factory one, but it serves a good purpose there. And the holes, either I drilled them or they lined up. I don't recall. That was back in 1985, for gosh sakes, 40 years ago. Thank you, Tamiya. Rest in peace. Thank you so much for giving us such a great introduction to the RC world with all of your models that you came out with. My first one was the Frog, and then I got to this one. So I've got the soldering iron on. I'm going to go ahead and chop this guy off. And then I don't have my strippers here, so I'm in trouble. But I cut a lot of wire, and if you're really careful and you just score the outer insulator, you should be good to go. Always twist your wires back together before you solder them. Okay, I don't have any helping hands or anything here, so we're just going to wing it and do it. I think I'll use this piece of cardboard so I don't drip solder anywhere. Soldering iron is getting warmer. Don't laugh at my ancient soldering iron. It's definitely hot. Okay. Get your wire hot. It might not be quite hot enough. It's close. You want to get your wire hot, you just let the solder kind of flow into it. And now you know why I put that piece of cardboard there. I don't do my videos in many takes. So you kind of get the raw. This is how it goes. There we go. I think that just try and get the excess out of it. Yeah, that'll work. Now we've got positive and negative, I'm sure, on this thing. I don't remember which side's which. Let me just grab a battery. It's always the best way. Oh, I grabbed the biggest one I got. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. So it looks like the one with the rounded edge is black, and the one with the flat is going to be the positive. We'll set that guy over there for now. These are too long. Trim them up. Okay, short. Let's throw the shrink tube on there. I don't have the right size shrink tube, of course, because I'm so ready for this video. But I was cleaning up the Toyota truck and thought it might be kind of fun to share it, since it is 40 years old this year. I did buy it in the summertime and put it together. Another thing you want to do is tin these. That means you just hit them with a little solder and get them silver instead of that color. So we'll tin those guys. Hopefully that's within camera shot there. If not, I apologize. You don't need much solder on them, just a little bit. It's called tinning. Then you get that one needs a little more. That one got a little more than tinning, but that's okay. So that's kind of what it looks like when they're tinned. And let's see, we said the flat one was the red. So I'm just going to do this all hanky-janky. Clean off the tip. It's always good to have a clean tip. And once again, check my polarity. And I'm going to apply my heat and solder to the wire and not the connector. Oh, before I do that, almost buggered it up. There's one more piece that has to go into the equation here. And that is this little cap that goes on the battery. So, and I don't think it cares which way it goes, so we'll just put it in here like so. And we'll try it again. Wipey, which you can't see. Back over here where you can. Add a little solder to it. Flat side for polarity. And we got a little bit of goobiness going on there. Try and get everybody warm enough to get it in there. Yeah, so helping hands would be like little alligator clips, right? We don't want a cold soldering joint. We want a good, solid soldering joint. Like that. Alright, now the negative. Oh, you know what I did backwards? The heat shrink tubing is backwards. Yep, it's hot. My fingers are letting me know that it is hot. Okay, I think that's it for soldering iron. Turn that off. So now I have to fix what I messed up here. Whether I can or cannot, I do not know. Perhaps. Yeah, I think that's going to work good for me. Okay. So because it's big, too big around, I have to kind of double wrap it to get it through the hole. Once we got it, once you got it started, should be good to go there. Okay, now they're big, and we need to get some kind of a flame. And we're just going to go ahead and warm these guys up, which will shrink them. We don't want to catch them on fire, and we want to try and go around evenly over and over and over. Normally you don't have to do this much, but when you get too big, you got to really shrink it down. So hopefully that shows up there. How about that, huh? Okay, and then this, slide down here. And once again, I got to get her over the shrink tube. Yeah, and just push that on there like that. Okay, that part's almost done. It's not quite clicked on there. Let's get a pair of my needle-nose pliers. I do not know where they went. Oh, there it clicked. Okay, done with that part. Moving on. Okay, time for bumper exchange. We're going to start with the front. Phillips screws. Yeah, Phillips screwdriver for this original stuff. It had a nut on it. That was a flange nut. We got a washer here. And looks like we got one up here. Well, this hasn't been apart in 40 years. I mean, I don't remember ever taking this bumper off. Okay, machine screw there. And one more right here. Ooh. Bet there's a nut back there. Yeah, that's it. That's one side. Okay. And this guy down here. Probably should check these Phillips screws, huh? And I think they're still doing it. Tamiya, that is. Okay, that's a little bit more difficult for me to get my eyeball on. There we go. Gee whiz. Huh. The struggle is real. I think that's damaged. Because my Phillips screwdriver does not want to go in it. Let's try a little smaller. Wow, okay. Must be something in that. I wonder if I filled them in with Loctite. Craziness. Razor blade. I have to remind myself this is a 40-year-old truck with 40-year-old dirt and 40-year-old screw-ups, probably. This is like my second, no, this is probably my third RC vehicle that I bought and put together. First one was a Frog. The second one, I believe, was the Galaxy. And there also was a Samurai in there. And that was a four-wheel drive, chain-driven off-road buggy thing. That was a fun rig. That Samurai, it ripped pretty good. That's what I remember about that. And, of course, better traction around corners because it was all-wheel drive. But the Scorpion was not Tamiya, nor was the Galaxy. I don't remember what the Galaxy was. Murray, maybe. I think actually Murray made the Galaxy and it made the Scorpion. I'm having a really hard time with these screws. I wonder if there's stuff in them. Yeah, I don't know if I'm in frame for you guys or not, but if not, you probably won't even see this. There we go. Now it's got a nut in here somewhere. There's the nut. And there's the front bumper, folks. 40 years that baby's been on there. Look at those special screws. I don't know if you can see how white it used to be where the screw hole is. I don't know if you can see that or not, but wow. Wowzers. Alright. Oh. It almost looks like this rail is kind of dinked up, but we're just going to have to go with it. And this is supposed to go on here. Yeah. Okay. Kind of like that. And then this one with the washer over here. I guess I'm putting the Phillips screws back in it. Because what else do you do? I don't see any other screws with this, so I guess that's what it's going to get. I've always been kind of protective of the Bruiser, just because it is what it is, you know. I mean, how many people have a 40-year-old model that you still can work on, you haven't destroyed? I'd like to say this thing has stood the test of time, and it has in a lot of ways, but it's really more about it didn't get abused. I remember the first time I broke the front axle, I was too hard on it, of course, and I was coming off of a rock, and this isn't really a crawler. It's more of a, was kind of built to be a bouncer. Okay, I'm having a little trouble finding the hole here. What is going on? Let's see. What can we see here? Looks like it needs to be raised up a bit to get that hole. So we'll loosen this one up a little bit. Try and give it a little wiggle room. Got it all hooked back up. Lights are working. The transmission needed a little bit of work. I ended up breaking the servo horn because it was a plastic one. And I continued, I put another plastic one in there. I thought that's kind of a safe thing. But anyways, couldn't shift from two-wheel drive high to two-wheel drive low to four-wheel drive. Now I've got it dialed in here. I'll get the lights on here just a second and show you. Well guys, after 40 years, these are the original tires. Four-wheel drive works. Top speed right there. But that's in four-wheel drive. You can also shift the gears. Rear-wheel drive. Hopefully you can see that rear tire spinning, kind of cool. And then you got also rear-wheel drive high. And the truck's gonna go really fast and flip over really easy. Done it. Been there, done it. Well, thank you, Tamiya. Really appreciate you producing this vehicle. I was so excited to buy this. I was just in my early 20s and in 85, and just a lot of fun to put together. I met some really good friends doing it. Just really good memories from it. It was nice to be able to revamp it and turn it into the LED stuff instead of the flashlight bulbs that I used to have up here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and you all have a good evening. Like, subscribe, or share, or don't. If you ever had a Bruiser or some other old Tamiya vehicle, put a comment below. Thanks.